It's time to go to work. This work will be all gas and no brakes. We will go for it to the highest level.
Push it to the limit, push it to the limit. Against all odds, I'm not a quitter. When time gets hard, that's when I deliver. Knocked down many times, but I still get up.
Jordan's got to make a man miss. Does. Touchdown, Texas!
Casey Thompson reaches across and gets in.
Let's go.
Wide open. Caught. Bijan Robinson.
Time to get it.
Oh, what a play! Foster with the pick.
This is it.
No, I'm not ever gonna give up, never gonna let you down. Push it to the limit, cause we in this together now.
All gas, no brakes.
Let's go, baby! Let's go!
All gas, no brakes. Let's get it.
But to paraphrase the king, George Strait, Texas football needs to lean on the gas and off the clutch after the Longhorns stalled out in Fayetteville, Arkansas. You're watching Rice and Texas, presented by thezebra.com. New day for the Texas Longhorns as they try to turn their attention to getting some momentum before they start conference play next week against Texas Tech. With that, hello and welcome inside DKR. I'm Lowell Galindo, and look at this. The Acho brothers' domination of the media world continues. We've gone from the little bro Manny Acho to the big guy, Sam Acho, right here. In case you've forgotten about Sam and what this guy did at the University of Texas, well, he's simply one of the all-time greats. Dominant from 07 to 2010, All-American, Campbell Trophy winner, that's the academic Heisman, and of course, capping his career as a team MVP in 2010. But Sam, you know, Texas goes as the quarterback goes. And when the offense sputtered in Fayetteville, Sark decided to make a move. He's now going with Casey Thompson at quarterback. What does he need to do?
Yeah, Casey needs to bring a sense of calm to this offense. We saw Hudson was a little bit shaky in the pocket. Casey, when we talked to him, he's got this presence about him. It seems like every time he gets in the game, he scores. Out of the last 10 drives, he has 9 scores, whether it was in the Alamo Bowl or last week against Arkansas. He has a knack of getting in the end zone. There's such things as brain smart. There's also football smart. Casey Thompson has that football IQ that you hope for in a quarterback, and that's what I'm expecting to see. Make the right reads, read the defense, run when you need to run, tuck it when you need to tuck it, and then help your team win the game.
And this is the efficiency you were talking about. Last 10 drives, going back to when he took over for Sam Ehlinger in the second half of the Alamo Bowl. 10 drives, 7 touchdowns, 2 field goals, only 1 punt. And we talked to Sark. What did he want to see from Casey Thompson getting this first start at the University of Texas? Said it was simple. Move the ball, put up points, take care of the football. You wonder if this guy's going to be nervous, though. It's been a minute since he started a game at quarterback.
The last time I started a game was November of 2017, my senior year of high school. It's crazy to even think about, but when you look back, it seems like, wow, that was a long time ago, but really, like, I just try to focus on 1 week at a time and 1 year at a time. If I don't execute at the end of the day, I wouldn't expect anyone to continue to name me the starter every week. My thought process this week is just focus on Rice and focus on every day of practice.
Bevo 15 on hand to see the new quarterback of the Longhorns, Casey Thompson. He's getting ready for the Rice Owls. Can Casey's O-line, the other big fellas, keep him upright? Sam will weigh in after the break. Horns are up in Austin, Texas, as the Longhorns face another old foe from the Southwest Conference, the Rice Owls. Now, Rice's head coach Mike Bloomgren believes that his team is coming into this not overmatched in the trenches. That's for 2 reasons. He believes in what he's got on the lines, and he's seen film on Texas. What's going on?
Yeah, if you watch the tape, which I'm sure Mike Bloomgren did, you saw bad things happen for Texas offensively. It's 5 guys in the box. You have to be able to run with 5 guys in the box. Kurt Snyder and company, Jake Majors and company. You got to block the linebacker, you got to block the defensive end. Bijan's getting hit in the backfield. That's a problem. Now, defensively, you have to stay square on motions like this. Simple zone read. Obi, no. Obi, no. Obi, no. Number 18, you have to stay square. Shuffle down the line. David Bennett shuffle down the line, because if you don't. The running back, no matter who it is, it could be me, will hit his head on the goalpost. So that has to be fixed. Number 2, the film don't lie. That's what they say. This play, Obi Ogofu, right here. You can't run upfield. You have to close that gap, otherwise it looks like an avalanche downfield, and no one has a chance. I don't care if you're a corner, a safety, a linebacker. You have no shot to stop this run. This is why Arkansas ran for 333 yards on Texas last week. Oh, by the way, they took a knee twice, so it could have been more.
Film don't lie, numbers don't lie either. 333 on the ground. Taysom Hill-esque, if you will. Most since 2016. Bijan did everything he could to get the yards he had. 10 of his 19 runs, he was hit at or behind the line of scrimmage. First loss for the Longhorns since 2016 when rushing at least 40 times. We got more to come. We're going to hear from Alex Chappell. He's going to catch up with head coach Steve Sarkisian. We got the coin toss too. Counting down to Texas and Rice on LHN. The Longhorns are here. Moments ago, Steve Sarkisian leading Texas onto the field. And now Alex Chappell is standing by with Coach Sark.
The Red Eagle is tails, okay? Blue side is heads, Red Eagle is tails.
Responded to that Arkansas game as they look to bounce back tonight.
Well, the key to the drill is we had to own it and move on, and I think we've done that, and I think we'll go out and play well tonight.
What effect do you believe Casey Thompson will have on your offense?
Well, I just like the efficiency that the guys played with. You know, every time he's gone in, we've moved the ball, and I love the perseverance that he's shown throughout his career.
Coach, thanks for your time.
All right, thank you.
Lowell?
Alex, thank you so much. And now it's time for the coin toss presented by Texas Lottery.
Rice has won the toss, has elected to defer their option to the second half.
Right off the jump. And there is Casey Thompson. He told us he has not been nervous since his first varsity game as a freshman. You think nerves come into play here?
I don't. We sat down with Casey Thompson yesterday, and he literally changed the whole atmosphere of the room. As soon as we sat down with him, I felt more calm about myself, and that's what he does with the guys on this football team. He said he hadn't been nervous since his freshman year in high school, and I believe it. Casey Thompson, this is your time to shine.
Mike Bloomgren, head coach for the Rice Owls, season number 4. He knows Sark well from some battles in the Pac-12 days. This guy, a long-time OC with the Stanford Cardinal, bringing that intellectual brutality to the Rice Owls. They do not make a lot of mistakes, and they are physical. It is more of an old-school approach than we're used to watching in the Big 12.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You see them, they're trying to model their game after Stanford. So when you watch this game, when you're watching, look for a lot of 22 personnel, a lot of big people on the field. They're going to run the ball. So Texas, defensively, you have to be able to stop the run. Offensively, I want to see explosive plays. Once again, Sark kept on talking about it. We have to get the ball to our playmakers. Xavier Worthy, Jordan Whittington, Joshua Moore, and Bijan Robinson need to touch the rock.
It has been a hot day in Austin, Texas, but the temps are dropping as the sun does the same. Roschon Johnson and Deshaun Jamison back deep for Texas special teams as the Rice Owls will kick this one away. Officiating crew, trying to get the clock set up, and now it's time for some football. Rising Texas, back to the days of the old Southwest Conference. Here we go. Oh, and a little pooch by the Owls, and it's right into the hands of Keaton Crawford. And that will set up Casey Thompson in great field position. This is Casey Thompson's moment. 4 passing touchdowns in the Alamo Bowl, tied the program bowl record. That's when he emerged on the scene and made Texas fans say, wait a second, maybe this is the quarterback after Sam Ehlinger.
And that was the first time that Sark said, wait a second, maybe this is the quarterback. Sark was at home watching the game. He turns the TV on, flips to the Alamo Bowl, and sees this guy named Casey Thompson throw 4 touchdowns. So Sark was excited. He had a little bit of a history with Casey Thompson.
Xavier Worthy and Marcus Washington, the starting receivers at the bottom of your screen. That's Worthy in motion, a toss to him. Bijan Robinson leading the way in a few yards on first down. Picking up yards on early downs will be key for the Longhorns.
Yes, it definitely will, and I love this first play. So you get Xavier Worthy, your playmaker, the ball. That's what they talked about. That's what I'm excited to see.
How can they get the perimeter players involved? That's what Sarkisian wanted to see his offense do. So far, so good. And now a carry for Robinson, cuts it back, looking for the edge, just stiff arm. Robinson down the sideline, and he's brought out by Naheem Smith, but that is the move that he's getting known for.
So I don't know if y'all familiar with the guy named Derrick Henry. He has a stiff arm, very similar. Watch this cutback right here. So you have to win. If you're a running back, it's a DB. Get him out of your way. I love that by Bijan Robinson. This is why he is a Heisman candidate. This is why he's special. Yes, he has the elite cutback ability, but that stiff arm, that strength, that power is what makes him elite.
17 yards by Robinson on the carry. Empty for Thompson. He'll tuck and run. Taking on 4 Rice defenders before Kenneth Orji can bring him down. Who are the impact players tonight?
Yeah, so impact players offensively, it's got to be Bijan Robinson and Xavier Worthy. You have to keep Casey Thompson calm. Don't put the pressure on him. Defensively for Rice, Elijah Garcia, he's a former offensive tackle, big man in the middle. Ikenna Enechukwu, he's a big, strong, physical dude. You have to, if Rice wants to win, those guys got to play big.
Thompson, quick pass to Worthy. Almost made a man miss. But Jordan Dunbar, starting corner, comes up to make the tackle for Rice.
Yeah, you could tell Sark wasn't playing around. He said it early. We're going to get our playmakers the ball. The first 2 out of the first 4 plays.
And everything is happening quick, Sam.
Yes, it's happening quick. And once again, you saw Bijan get a carry early. You see Casey staying calm in the pocket. That could have been a negative play. Instead, it turned into a positive. It's what you want to see.
Bottom of your screen, it's Winnington and Washington stacked on top of each other. Quick pass to Washington. Washington trying to cut it inside. Gabe Taylor brings him down. Now this is a Rice defense under coordinator Brian Smith. And they say, we're not about to bend, don't break. We're trying to stop dudes, and they do it with multiple looks.
They do, and Gabe Taylor, you watch the film on him, he's physical. He comes downhill. He's actually the younger brother of Sean Taylor. So when you watch him play, you get that same kind of vibe. 4th and 3.
The Rice Owls have made 8 straight stops on 4th down. Can Texas turn that in their direction? Thompson to pass, quick to Worthy. He's got the first down. Still up, Worthy, inside the 20, to the 10. And on 4th down, Xavier Worthy makes the play.
So once again, you're getting the ball in your playmaker's hands. Casey Thompson, calm in the pocket. Xavier Worthy wins on his route.
Up-tempo to Robinson. And nice tackle at the line of scrimmage by Smith and Fresh.
Yeah, so going back to that play right here, 4th and 3, once again, your playmakers got to play big, and Xavier Worthy, he breaks the tackle, he stays up, but look who's gotten the ball almost on every single play. It's been Xavier Worthy. It's been Bijan Robinson. Steve Sarkisian was not playing around. Expect those guys to get a heavy dose today.
81, Juan Davis enters the game, caught a smoke screen in the loss against Arkansas. He's at the top of the line. 2nd and goal from the 10. To Robinson, looking for room, muscles forward for a few.
Yeah, this Rice defensive line, they are a good, strong, big, and physical defensive line. Trey Schumann right there, number 7. An interesting individual, I'm sure we'll talk about him more later, but their defensive line is really strong, and so once again, the O-line is going to be challenged tonight.
91 and 92, Enechukwu and Garcia, They are getting looks by scouts for the next level, according to the Rice coaches, and they are hard to handle inside. Huge play here, 3rd and goal for the Texas offense, 9th play of the drive. To Robinson, slips a tackle. Robinson pushing forward. Bijan Robinson to the end zone.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. You're coming off of a bad loss. Bijan didn't play well, but now he stays up. He runs over that big, strong interior defensive line that we talked about. If there's any way you wanted to start this game coming off of a bad Arkansas loss, this is how you wanted to start. Bijan Robinson, feed him. Xavier Worthy, feed him. This is how you want to start.
That's now 8 touchdowns in the last 11 drives engineered by Casey Thompson at quarterback. And oh, by the way, a perfect 4 of 4 for 38 yards. That is what Sarkisian wanted. A quarterback to take care of the football, feed the playmakers, sometimes just get out of the way and let that guy do the rest. Bijan for 6. Perseverance right there. Casey Thompson waited until the 3rd game of his 4th year on campus to make his first career start. The last Texas quarterback to wait longer in their career to make their first start, Donovan Forbes in 1989, who started the last game of his senior season. At Texas, it's typically get Vince Young the reins early, get Colt the reins early, get Sam the reins early, and let them go. This is a different story with Casey Thompson. Sean Fresh back deep for the kick from Cameron Dicker into the end zone. And so now it's time to introduce a young quarterback in Luke McCaffrey. You'll know the name. This is the son of the legendary Ed McCaffrey, standout receiver of the Denver Broncos. And of course, his bro, one of the best players in the league, Christian McCaffrey. 4th career start. He started the last game against Houston. Did not go well.
It didn't, but what they love about Luke McCaffrey is his escape ability. Similar to Casey Thompson, he knows how to make something out of nothing. So when you're watching this game, yes, you're going to see a lot of runs, big personnel, but watch for him being creative within the passing game.
From the eye. And that's Kalen Griffin on the initial carry. Nothing doing as DeMarvion Overshown, a.k.a. Straps, is there to make the tackle.
Yeah, once again, this offense, Rice's offense, is not a difficult offense to try and understand. They want to outpower you, outsmart you, and out-physical you. So expect a lot of that.
They are without 2 dynamic receivers that looked excellent in the opener against Arkansas, Bradley Rosner and August Pete. So Cedric Patterson, number 4, and Jake Bailey, number 11, will be the go-to receivers for McCaffrey. And the Texas defense is there to stuff it close to the line. And that brings us to the impact players, Sam.
Yeah, defensively, it's got to be two guys. Keandre Coburn on the defensive line. You know Rice wants to run it. I need you to stuff the middle. Then when it comes to DB play, Deshaun Jameson, this is your chance to get a lot of picks. Luke McCaffrey takes a lot of chances. Going to the offense, once again, Luke McCaffrey for Rice. Yes, he takes chances, but Steve Sarkisian was worried about Luke McCaffrey because once he gets it, he's a problem. And then running back / wide receiver / tight end / do it all. Number 7, Jordan Myers. Him and Jake Bailey are the 2 key players for this offense.
3rd and 8 for McCaffrey in the outs. Pocket collapses. McCaffrey will tuck, but doesn't get far as DeMarvion Overshown is there, and it will be a 3 and out for the Rice Owls.
Yeah, I like the game you saw up front on the Texas defensive line. Ray Thornton, he ran what's called a TE game. The tackle goes first, the end comes up underneath. That helped flush the pocket for Luke McCaffrey. And then defensively, you have to make sure you tackle. That was a great tackle defensively to keep it at 4th down.
Charlie Mendez to put it away. Deshaun Jameson to return. Jameson on the line. Will reverse fields. And shy of the 40 for Deshaun Jameson. Second go around now for Casey Thompson, trying to make it 2 for 2 in terms of getting the Texas offense into the end zone.
Texas football on Longhorn Network is presented by thezebra.com. Compare and save at thezebra.com. And in part by Coors Light, official sponsor of the Texas Longhorns.
The scenes on Bevo Boulevard, man, they have really made an adjustment to the game day atmosphere at the University of Texas since your playing days here. It's completely different when you show up. It's a party.
It is a party. It felt like a carnival. I pulled up, we saw the Ferris wheel, all the little games. I said, okay, I need to come early, have a little bit more fun.
Well, Texas having some fun right now. One offensive drive, a touchdown. One defensive drive, a 3-and-out. Whittington in motion. Thompson drops back. Looking deep, he's hit as he throws, and this one's going to be picked off by Gabe Taylor.
Yeah, once again, reminiscent. So we're going to go back. We're going to watch this play. Casey Thompson gets hit. Once again, we talked about that pressure up front. It looks like right here, the inside pressure, left tackle, Christian Jones got beat inside a little bit. The whole line, there was nothing up there. Gabe Taylor, let's get that replay one more time so we can see what happened. Kenneth Orji pressure in the pocket. Ikenna and then Chukwu. Ikenna, that name in Nigerian, it's Igbo name. It means God's power. He is a big, powerful human being. That doesn't go down as a sack. It goes down as a pressure and a cause interception.
And that is the first turnover on the season for Casey Thompson. He was looking to take a shot, which Texas wants to try to do more, but did not have the time. And so now Rice takes over after going 3-and-out. Griffin with the carry. Picks up a few yards. And this is something that Rice wants to do. They need a sustained drive.
Yeah.
They were good against Arkansas, had a 17-7 lead in the fourth quarter. Bloomgren said, I don't know what happened against Houston. They couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, and I get giving up a touchdown early in this game that we're watching right now, but there's no better start that Rice could ask for. Early interception, getting the ball, you're keeping the game close, you're running it. Luke McCaffrey, let's see what we got here.
Haven't seen him throw the ball yet. To Griffin, left side. Again, the Texas defensive line holding strong. Moro Ojimo makes the tackle.
Yeah, and Rice in 2020, they were second in the FBS in time of possession. So you know they're going to hold the ball. So defense and run game is what they want to focus on. Think Stanford football.
Yeah, it is the blueprint. But really, time of possession doesn't do you much. You don't get a chance to get that going unless you get some first downs, and they need one here.
So why you put it out and empty? It helps your quarterback with easy reads.
McCaffrey over the middle, and that is first down yardage to Jake Bailey. Bailey is the guy that's the fiery leader of the Rice receivers. He has to pick up his production with Roser and Pete out.
Yeah, watching Pete. Pete was special, then he gets injured early on in the season. Jake Bailey was the player who all the Rice coaches, when we sat and talked with them, they said Jake Bailey really is going to be our go-to guy, our focus.
Huge first down for Rice. Trying to sustain a drive. For Luke McCaffrey making his second start with the Owls. Now they roll him out, and he's got Jack Bradley. Bradley muscles his way for the first down. Jack's dad, Steve, was a tight end at Texas in the 90s. His mom, Amy, a hoop star here.
Yeah, they say football is simple, but it's not easy. You've been running and running and running and running. All of a sudden, you get a bootleg. You got Jack Bailey, the tight end, out free. And then you got Ovi Ogofu still chasing what he thinks is a running back carrying the ball. The quarterback had it.
Bradley has been more involved as the season has progressed for the Owls. Quick toss up the middle. Griffin has got room trying to beat Jamison. Inside the 20, inside the 15, and Kalen Griffin, the freshman from Tyler, showing the impact.
Yeah, once again, going back to the offensive line and defensive line battle, you get the toss back to Griffin. He's patient. He lets Overshown slide over, and then the center comes up and blocks Overshown. Once again, the reason you pitch that ball back is to give the blocks time to develop. Pulling guard by Shea Baker, and all of a sudden, 30-some-odd yards later, first down.
31 yards by Kalen Griffin. Had his previous career high 21 last week against Houston. He was one of the bright spots for the Owls offense. Back to the hot hand. Griffin brought down, gobbled up by T'Vondre Sweat.
Yeah, big number 93 in the middle. He's another guy who has to step up. So watch his hands right here. T'Vondre Sweat, big number 93. He takes off a double team. He sheds the offensive lineman, and he makes the play. You got Moro Ojomo there as well. When you are in the trenches, it's not about how big you are. It's about using your hands. Eyes take your hands take your feet. Defensive linemen who are watching this, keep your head up. Strike with your hands. Be powerful. Be explosive. And then shed blocks and make plays.
Jordan Myers and Ari Broussard, number 7 and number 30. Flanking McCaffrey. To Myers, one of their best players on offense. And again, the Texas D-line, lot of burnt orange there to meet him.
Yeah, once again, football, it's a simple game. Who's going to win the line of scrimmage? Who's going to win the first 2 seconds of the down?
Sweat, slow to get up, tried to hobble off, and now he's down. So T'Vondre Sweat, we'll see him in number 93. Tries to get off the block. And he's caught up in everybody.
Yeah, he knew early. I can't see exactly what happened, but he knew early it wasn't good. You know, when you're a player in a pile, it's always dangerous. Before he even falls down, he's looking to the sideline saying, hey, I need somebody. You know that's not good.
Well, we hope that Sweat is okay, but if there is a position where Texas does feel good about their depth, it is along the defensive line.
It is, yeah. Moro Ojomo, he's stepped up. Jacoby Jones at end. Alfred Collins, number 95, is going to be a guy who's going to step up now that T'Vondre Sweat may be out for who knows how long. When we talked to some of the leaders on this Texas defense, B.J. Foster specifically, he said that, yes, Sweat is great, but also, man, Alfred Collins, number 95, he has this way about him. He's athletic. He's big. He said, I've never seen a guy that big move that fast, but I'm hoping and praying T'Vondre Sweat is okay.
3rd and 8 for Rice.
3rd down, money down. You hear the crowd in it. They got Wiley Green in there.
Green will dump to Myers. Myers slips 1 tackle and then is brought down by Anthony Cook.
So it's interesting here. No Luke McCaffrey. They went with Riley Green, the starter from week 1. Jordan Myers, once again, he's special. We talked about him. Maybe first man miss is what you have to do. Special player. And once again, even Steve Sarkisian said, hey, we asked him, who from Rice are you worried about? He said it was number 7, Jordan Myers.
And that was Overshown with the stop. Now 11 red zone trips against the Texas defense this season. Only 3 touchdowns allowed. 25-yard attempt for the senior, Colin Riccatelli. And a flag. That one was blocked, but there was a flag before the snap.
Delay game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
They will gladly take that delay again.
They will. And once again, offensively, special teams, defense, you can't make mistakes in this Rice offense with Bloomgren as your coach. He's a guy who believes in being efficient. They talked about it, intellectual brutality. They said, we're going to out-prepare you. We're going to out-physical you. We want to beat you not only physically, but mentally. Mistakes kill that.
That was Alfred Collins that got a piece. Riccatelli moves it back to 30. Gets it off. And no good. So an interception against Casey Thompson. A drive into the red zone and no points as the Texas defense proven to be, in 2 games, one of the top red zone defenses around. Mo Galindo back here with Sam Acho. Sam, what did you see from the Thompson pick?
Yeah, so on this interception, it's just called the middle of the field. You're at the 40-yard line. You know Texas is going to take a shot. Look at this guy right here. He cannot end Chukwu on the play pass. Watch what happens. So you see him keep his head down. He comes on the loop on the game and hits the quarterback, Casey Thompson. The ball flutters in the air. You saw Xavier Worthy working on a deep route.
And Bijan Robinson is hit quickly by Elijah Garcia, along with Kenny Chukwu, part of that dynamic duo inside for the Rice defensive line.
They really are. Those two guys up front are big and they're physical. And that's what you want to see from a defensive line, especially when you watch the game when an offensive line of Texas was getting beat up.
Roschon Johnson now checks into the backfield on a 2nd and 8. Gets the carry, tries to slip under some tackles, and it's Bijan, and Bijan is still going. Takes an army to take Robinson down, and that will set up a 3rd and manageable for the Texas Oak.
Yeah, once again, you wonder why Bijan is so good. This is why. Most running backs in college football would have been down back then, or back then, or back then. Bijan said, I want to be as strong as an ox. We talked to him not long ago. He said, that's my goal. I want to be, yes, big and fast and physical, but as strong as an ox. You look at it, 6 rushes, 35 yards. That's pretty strong.
We knew he had the wiggle, but the lower body strength and the will to stay up, that has been fantastic. Roschon, the direct snap. He will take it. Johnson staying up into the open field. To the 50. Roschon Johnson has one man to beat. Johnson looking for the end zone, and he's got it. Direct snap to Roschon Johnson, and he's in.
You got to love it. You have to love it. Yes, we got Bijan Robinson, but Roschon Johnson, look at him. He used to play quarterback, so he knows what it's like to be back there. But he's fast, he's strong, and he's a team player. You talk about who's the spark on this team. Who on this team do the guys follow? They talk about Bijan as a quiet leader, but Roschon Johnson is the guy that this team loves to follow. And so when he does it on the football field, everyone starts to get excited.
The OC Kyle Flood says Roschon is everything you want in a player. Doesn't care if he's carrying or blocking, and he gets that moment and makes the most of it. Roschon Johnson, 1 carry, 72 yards. Hey, Sam, I remember another Texas running back with number 2 on his chest that used to line up in the Wildcat. Our man, Fozzie Whitaker.
Without a doubt, Fozzie Whitaker would be happy about this run. But once again, like, this dude is selfless. Like, think about it. He used to play quarterback. He came in. He was a running back behind Bijan in a lot of ways. But he said, I'm going to come in. I'm going to do my job. Like, when you talk about leadership, it's more than just about on-field production.
Yeah.
It's also about what do you do when no one is watching? What are you doing when you may not be the starter, you may not be the guy? So a guy like Casey Thompson, who has sat and waited for a bit and now gets a shot. Even Roschon Johnson, who says, I'm going to do whatever it takes for my team. 72 yards in the Wildcat. Defenses, be ready, because when Roschon Johnson gets back there in the quarterback position, no, he can throw it and he can run it.
Wow. Talked to Sarkisian before the season opener against Louisiana. Said people don't realize how good Roschon is. If there's one thing that Bijan really has over him, it's a little bit more of the wiggle.
Yeah, it's that wiggle, and a lot of people, you call it contact balance, right? What that means, contact balance, you get hit and you stay up. That's what Bijan Robinson has. But Roschon, he's just a grinder. Like, he's not the biggest guy, but he's a grinder. You saw that was a strong run. He wasn't taking off on anybody, but he broke 2 or 3 tackles. And so that's what you love to see with a guy like Roschon Johnson.
And a great example of make the most of the opportunity presented to you. Couple weeks before the start of his freshman season, they move him to running back. Did not complain. He's taken to it.
Yeah, he is. And once again, see, when those knees get up as a running back, you got to be hyped. And then you look at this guy. He can't catch you. You can't let him. Once again, Roschon. Those are game-changing. Like, those are back-breaking plays when you're playing a school like Rice. Rice has stayed in the game. They've played great, but a play like that could be a back-breaker.
So Christian McCaffrey checks back in. We saw him on the sideline during the break when he came out, messing with his eye. Don't know if it was a contact situation or not. Griffin coughs it up. I don't know if that was a catch. Well, there's no ruling on the field quite yet. And what's it going to be? Take another look here. So the dump down, woo, that's going to be close. As the freshman Barron Sorrell, his first action at the University of Texas, ends up jumping on the football here. And they are going to say it's a turnover. Texas football.
Yeah, they're calling that one a fumble, a catch and fumble. Looks like he had possession. Obviously, replay may say something different. But as of now, the call on the field is catch, fumble, recovery, Texas.
In real time, it looked like a drop. On the replay, it looked like there's going to be an argument for that to stay as called.
Yeah, real time, it definitely looked like a drop, but then you see the replay, things in slow motion. All of a sudden, you start questioning. This could go either way. Let's watch the replay.
I don't know if he ever tucks it.
Yeah, had control. That's the thing you question is, did he have control of the ball? And obviously, when it's in slow motion, it looks like control. 1 foot down, 2nd foot getting in, but he never tucked the ball in. It doesn't look like when you watch that full speed that he had control of the football.
What's your call here, Sam?
I'm going incomplete pass. Incomplete pass.
But how about that with Barron Sorrell? We were talking to Pete Kwiatkowski, the defensive coordinator, asked him, is anyone that we should be ready to see, that we haven't seen? And Sorrell was the guy that he brought up, freshman from New Orleans, and he was there ready to pounce on that football.
Yeah, once again, and people sometimes say that fumbles are accidents or recovering fumbles are accident, but it's effort.
Yeah.
It really is. It's sprinting to the ball. It's effort.
After further review, it was an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, Mike Bloomgren and Rice just avoided disaster. If they have any hopes in hanging with Texas here, you can't have the missed field goal in the red zone and then coughing up the football inside the 30 and hope to have a shot.
Yeah, once again, especially when your team's focus is time of possession, your team's focus is making 0 to minimum mistakes, making less mistakes than your opponent. You can't have mistakes.
Riley Green, who started the season at quarterback, is now back in, out of the shotgun. Green will keep, makes a move, but then the man that was juked, Ben Davis, comes back and makes a stop.
Yeah, he put on the brakes there. Wiley Green, he's not known for his athleticism per se, but watch him put on the brakes. He gets the ball, everybody spread out. Watch this. My bad. You're on the ground. But once again, defensively, Ben Davis, it's about effort. It's about effort. You fall down, you get up, you make the play. No one remembers. Unless you go back and watch the film with your teammates.
Hey, but you said I never gave up. I still get credit for the tackle.
He's going to get talked about. He's going to get talked about tomorrow.
That doesn't show in the box score. Said anything but a tackle. 3rd and 8 for the Owls. Green stays in there. Fielding pressure by a Gofu. And scrambles and picks up a yard, and that will force a punt as Alfred Collins makes the tackle.
Yeah, big man in the middle, Alfred Collins. But it wasn't just him, it was everyone on that defense. You saw the inside pressure. Once again, if you're an inside linebacker, we're going to go to the replay. If you're an inside linebacker, you have to be able to beat the back one-on-one. And so when we go back and see it, you're going to see inside pressure. But now, special teams, Deshaun Jameson, he's a weapon.
He is on the cusp of tying Jordan Shipley for the most return touchdowns, and it's blocked. It is blocked in the end zone, and out of the end zone, Keelan Robinson, the transfer from Alabama, making his most significant play.
Yes, and he's known for his speed. Keelan Robinson is known for his speed. Watch him come off the edge. So once again, you think about it. Last week in college football, we saw a plethora of blocked punts. You would have thought that people would have made some changes. No changes. Keelan off the edge. Blocked punt. It goes through the back of the end zone. That's going to count as 2 points for Texas, and you're going to see them get the ball back after this punt. Safety, safety, safety. Love it.
Into the first quarter, Texas football was looking for a spark. They found the spark. Casey Thompson. Opening drive, Casey was good. Bijan was even better. One day, maybe there's another stiff arm in his future if he keeps making plays like that. Yeah, we're talking the one they give out in New York. Bijan caps the opening drive with the touchdown. And then Roschon, direct snap, stepping through tackles. Beating the final man for a 72-yard touchdown, and Keelan Robinson, also a running back. So really, this is the 3 running backs for Texas making the play so far.
It is, and I'm starting to wonder, so you've seen 2 kickoffs, a few kickoffs, they're short. two questions abound. Are they kicking it away from Deshaun Jamison? You saw there was a callback in week 1 where Deshaun took it to the house. Or are you trying to get, at least with that first kick, maybe get an extra possession? This kick, obviously, you're not thinking about an extra possession, but once again,
short field.
Short field.
Yeah. And I was bringing it up when talking Jamison before the Keelan Robinson block. He's one return away from tying Jordan Shipley for the most in Texas history. He thought he had that in the opener against Louisiana. 2 flags brought that back. Casey Thompson back in. Thompson hit again as he throws, and he was looking for Joshua Moore deep. And there is a flag down. We saw Moore also signaling for a flag.
Pass interference. Defense number 26. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Yeah, and that goes against Gabe Taylor right there.
And sometimes people get upset at a defender for making a pass interference call like that, but that pass interference saves a touchdown.
Bigger issue, though. Twice now, Thompson has taken big hits.
He has.
Robinson, again reversing fields. How does he even stay up? It is a battle every time you try to tackle Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, it goes back to what we talk about. It goes back to contact balance. It means when you get hit, you don't fall down. You stay up. Find a way to stay up. Whether you're using your hand or whether you're using your body, you find a way to stay up. He thought about going outside. Cut it back. No, not one person is going to bring him down. He won't allow it.
Roll out for Thompson. Checks it down to Jared Wiley. Wiley leaps forward to pick up an extra couple of yards. But will be down shy of the 45. Wiley back in the lineup. Been dealing with some shoulder stuff. And he is a guy that can be one of the better receiving threats when it comes to that tight end mix of Brewer, Helm, and Wiley.
And he's just a large human being. Like I was at practice yesterday standing next to him. I felt intimidated. I played in the NFL for 9 years. I felt intimidated. He's 6'7", 265. He's just a big dude.
And former high school quarterback up in Temple. So 3rd and 6. Roschon has it, looking for more. Roschon Johnson, first down yardage.
So it goes back here once again, 3rd and 6, but it goes down to patience and vision. Roschon, look at his eyes. He's waiting for that hole to open up. And once that hole opens up, you have to put your foot in the ground and get vertical. And so once again, running backs, it's not all about where you think the ball is going to go. It's about being patient, having vision, and then once the hole opens up, you get vertical and get vertical now.
86 yards on his last 2 carries. Not too bad, Roschon Johnson. Worthy motions in and then back out. Worthy trying to get the edge. Oh, low on the shoulder a little bit against Gabe Taylor. The barking commences.
That dude is physical. That dude, number 26, turn the tape on. He is a physical dude at safety. Once again, you see, get the ball in your playmaker's hands, but it's physical.
That's also a 160-pound receiver in Worthy trying to bring some boom as well. So a flag out here. See what we got.
Offside. Defense number 10. Entered the neutral zone, causing a reaction by the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's against Kenneth Orji. Guy that Rice likes to move around and put in different spots. He's the chess piece on the defensive line.
And he has some great pass rush moves as well. He has a great inside pass rush move when you watch him on the edge. He can beat guys around the corner. If it gets to a game where Texas has to throw the ball, he will be a problem.
Right now, though, status quo, keep it on the ground. Another toss to Worthy. Washington and Brewer giving him blocks. And Worthy, the little guy, showing that he has some might in that 160-pound frame.
It may be too early to call him Mighty Mouse. He may not even like it, but it's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog, and Xavier Worthy is a dog.
Come on, man. Too easy for Bijan Robinson, the end zone for the second time tonight.
The sayings that patience is a virtue, but watch, you ain't gotta be patient. The imparted like the Red Sea, Bijan Robinson, another touchdown for Texas. That goes to offensive line play. Like, once again, we talk about great backs, but this offensive line has stepped up and played better than they did last week against Arkansas.
It was an ambush last week in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Rice must be feeling the same way. 6 plays, 65 yards, and it's the running backs doing the work. Roshan, Bijan, two-headed monster for Texas. All Texas here as Bertha has been very busy. 23-0 Longhorns over the Rice Owls. Let's check in with Alex Chaplin.
Well, Lowell and Sam, earlier this week talking with Coach Sarkisian, as you guys know, he said part of this culture, it comes down to we've got to hate losing more than we like winning. And talking with some of the players, they said the message this week, don't let Arkansas beat you twice. So what does that mean? Don't let that loss fester. Talking with two of the leaders on this team, Derek Kerstetter and Keandre Coburn, he says they had a strong week of practice. It was all about reflecting and how can they make sure they bounce back. Also, Moro Ojomo told me they felt that Arkansas loss in their soul, that this is something they never wanted to experience again. And you think you never want to say everything happens for a reason, but that was one of those losses. He felt like this was a step forward in order to build that mentality here.
It was a bad loss. It was a really bad loss. You got to give the environment some credit for being a factor there. But Arkansas was a 3-17. I'll just throw this out. I heard the same thing repeatedly from Charlie Strong, and he could never get this team to embrace the hatred of losing. How does Sark do it?
Yeah, he did. He talked about finding guys that really hate losing more than they like winning, and that's what we're seeing a little bit. Those guys have stepped up.
Green in at quarterback. That is complete to Jordan Myers. This is a guy that Rice is big on. Jordan Myers, they say, is the most versatile guy they have on offense right now. We've been wondering what they can do to get him involved more, because now straight to the sideline. So in a bit of a surprise, Green remains in at quarterback. Quick toss to the perimeter, looking for Bailey. Inching closer to that first down marker, but he will be a yard shy. And we say it's interesting to see Green in there because talking with Mike Bloomgren, they're saying this is Luke McCaffrey's offense. This is him going forward. So when Rice was getting down into the red zone, the third down play, Green comes in. McCaffrey was out. We saw him pointing to his eye. We don't know, though, if that was a contact issue. If he even wears contacts or he's having a problem with his vision. But it is Green at quarterback again, looking at a 3rd and 1. And it's going to be a timeout.
Rice, they're first to the half.
Rice Owls
Media
want to
timeout.
talk it out before a key 3rd and 1 coming up in Austin.
Football on Longhorn Network, presented by thezebra.com, is brought to you by Whataburger. Stop on by and try the Patty Melt today. It's an all-time favorite for a reason. And Air Gas. Gases, welding, safety products, and proud nitrogen fog provider when the Longhorns take the field.
Rice needs some points, but first they need to convert this. 3rd down. 3rd and short. Wiley Green at quarterback. And Mike Bloomgren has his big bodies out there along the O-line.
Yeah, you see some extra O-linemen on the edge. That's how you know you call these 22X. That X stands for extra O-linemen. Look how low they are.
It's going to be close as Myers leaps forward. Ogofu was there to make the tackle, and they were already moving the chains. First down, Rice, and that is big.
That's big, just like all those O-linemen you see in the game. That's some beef up front, and they stayed low. So it's 3rd and inches. You got to get low. You can't jump around blocks, but once again, 3rd and inches.
Make him work for every one of them. Top of the screen, you've got Patterson and Bailey. Eric Broussard now the running back. Quick toss to Bailey. And Bailey picks up 8.
Brendan Schooler out of that safety position coming downhill. That was a great tackle.
Seen Schooler flip a lot with Jared Thompson through the course of games. Guy that was a receiver here in his first year transferring from Oregon and then briefly Arizona. This Texas football program, 2nd and 3. Davis was creeping up to the line, number 6. Green feels the pressure, fakes the throw, first down yardage for Wiley Green, sophomore from Capel. Has 11 starts in his career, started the season over against Arkansas, had 3 interceptions in that game. Not exactly a Vince Young pump fake, but it works. The Owls have a red zone trip earlier in the game, led to a field goal. It was missed. Broussard with the carry to the middle. And met by Ojimo in the middle. You're liking what you've seen from Ojimo.
I am. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Moro Ojimo on the defensive line. He does a great job of using his hands, shedding blocks. He strikes at the point of attack, which is the most important thing you can do as a defensive lineman. But for those wondering, Wiley Green, why is he in the game? We're still trying to understand what's going on with Luke McCaffrey in his eye. But Wiley Green started the season for Rice. In their week 1 game against Arkansas, he was the starter. Had some late turnovers. That's why they benched him.
McCaffrey did enter as the number 4 dual threat quarterback in America as Jack Bradley gets another catch. And Bradley bringing in 2 so far tonight.
Going back to McCaffrey, he really is a dual threat quarterback, and he started off at Nebraska, and you saw him in Martinez. They did okay, and then he left Nebraska and found his way here to Rice. He talked about wanting to come to Rice because he wanted to understand a new type of offense and get an opportunity, having a relationship with Mike Bloomgren, going back to their time on the West Coast.
And you know, they probably spent most of the week preparing for a slightly different offense with the skill set as Broussard gets the carry. And as Sean Jamison is there quickly, still playing a little tug of war.
Oh, you got to be nasty. Defense, you have to be nasty. And the worst thing for a defender is when you hit somebody and then you start going backwards. You want them to go backwards. This play may not look like it matters, but look at that extension right there from Ray Thornton. And look at Deshaun Jamison coming in on the corner blitz and then pulling him back. That's what matters when you go back and watch the tape.
Corners for Texas will come up and they will hit. They have looked physical so far this season. 2nd and 10 for Green. One pump fake, being flushed, almost brought down, and will throw it away smartly.
He will. And Wiley Green, that was a nice throwaway, but 2nd and 10. So when you break down film, 1st and 10 for this team, it's run. But 2nd and 10 for most teams, 2nd and 7 to 9 or even 10, it's going to be a pass. So you can get into 3rd and manageable. No offensive coordinator wants to be in 3rd and 10 plus, but now you are. The reason why no one wants to be in 3rd and 10 plus is because those defensive linemen, they pin their ears back and they go.
10th play of the drive for Rice. Interesting to see if they play this like they are going to go for it on 4th down. A little bit of no man's land right now for Rice. Pressure. Green taken down. Ogofu with the stop. And that will bring up 4th down.
OV. Ovi with another sack coming off the edge. Once again, this is that TE game. You got to beat running backs if you're a linebacker. You see Ovi, you beat the running back, then you get rewarded with the sack. Week 1, he had a sack, 6 tackles and a sack. Week 2, he got a little bit sack happy. He was trying to rush up the field and go get the quarterback. They're running it. But week 3, Ovi comes back with another sack. You get rewarded when you're relentless.
We asked Kwiatkowski, where would the pass rush come from? And he really didn't have answers. He wanted an answer to come to fruition tonight. So far, it has been Ovie Oghoufo, the grad transfer from Notre Dame. Flag on the play here. Looks like it's a delay of game.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Gives Mendez a little more room to work with getting off this punt. But a good stand there by the Texas defense after the sustained drive for Rice. But even with all those plays, just picking up small chunks of yardage, nothing big, nothing back-breaking. As Jamison calls for the fair catch at the 9-yard line. So the Texas defense pitching the shutout. Bijan Roschon providing the electricity. It's 23-0. You hate to see this. Wiley Green in tears on the sideline. The team medical staff taking away his helmet. All signs indicating his night is over. And this was the play that preceded that as he was sacked. You see Sweat and Oghoufo with the contact there. So it looks like the night is over for Wiley Green. What does it mean for the quarterback situation for Rice with McCaffrey apparently not right? TJ McMahon, number 3 on the depth chart.
Yeah, you hate to see this as a player, as a competitor.
Yeah.
Those are the conversations you hate.
And you know, a guy like this from the state of Texas, this is what he wanted, a shot to play inside DKR. Bijan somehow staying alive, but the Rice defense rallies. No gain on the play.
Yeah, Rice understands what's up. They know that Bijan's going to get the ball, especially backed up. So they brought pressure off the edge in order to chase down that play.
Goes down as a loss for 1. So 2nd and 11. Thompson looking to throw the blitz. He finds Wiley, and Wiley will pick up a couple of yards. But that pressure was coming fast as George Nyquil got another hit on Thompson, at least the 3rd time Thompson has been hit tonight.
We know that the defensive coordinator, he doesn't mind bringing pressure. Brian Smith, he actually loves bringing pressure. He's not going to sit back and bend but don't break. He's going to come after you and attack you. We've seen that these last 2 plays.
3rd and 7 for Thompson. Whittington in motion. Rice gets a late sub on the field. Thompson to Whittington. Whittington so money on 3rd down in the opener against Louisiana. Had 4 big catches there. There is a flag in the backfield, however.
Yes, it's coming back. It's going to be a holding.
Holding. Offense number 70. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat 3rd down.
That's on Christian Jones, and it's been a rocky start for Christian Jones making that transition to left tackle this season.
It has. He got beat a little bit last week. And so here you see him get beat around the edge as an outside linebacker. That's what you want to do. You watch the film, you say, hey, I can run around this guy. I can run around him, and then you keep on running around him, then you start running through him.
3rd and 17. The Sark play it safe here. No, he does not. Thompson with the rifle over the middle. And brought in by Moochie Dixon for the 1st down. Big time throw by Casey Thompson.
Big time throw, big time protection. Backed up 3rd and 17, close to your own end zone. That's a bold call, but there was no fear.
22 yards to Dixon, who started to come to life late against Arkansas. Robinson slipping tackles, finding daylight just shy of the 40.
He's getting close, he's getting dangerous. Here's the issue when you start to bring a lot of pressure. When you bring pressure, the defenders, now they're up close to the line. If you break through that line as a running back, there's nobody back there.
Robinson again, This one could be a foot race. Can he beat the man? Yes, we'll cut it inside. Robinson will stride into the end zone for the third time tonight. Hat trick for Bijan Robinson.
Nobody back there. 62 yards. Bijan Robinson. Watch this run right here. Once again, you see the pressure. Bijan, he's patient. Here's what makes him special. Most backs would have just ran straight and ran close out of bounds. He cuts it back. He trusts his speed, and he trusts his vision. Bijan Robinson is built different. I'm just trying to tell you all. This man is built different. Most backs, you run. Maybe you try and take an angle. He doesn't care about angles. Bijan Robinson erases angles.
And you know who also realizes he's built different? Steve Sarkisian, because that's now 11 carries, by far more touches than anybody for this Texas offense. Identify the talent, get that talent the football. That's the MO for Steve Sarkisian. Fozzie will have a lot to talk about coming up in the break. There's Alex, Fozzie, Griff. Fozzie's probably still blushing after I made a comparison with him and Roschon Johnson. You know it. Alex, by the way, went lifting with Griff this week because Griff wanted him to be able to fill out the sleeves of his polo shirt a little bit better.
It's going to take
no lie.
It's going to take more than just one day lifting to fill that out.
Texas flexing the muscle here against Rice. And another touchback as Rice will take over on the 25. And that gets us to the game summary comparison brought to you by thezebra.com. And right now, it's Bijan, Roschon, and everybody else is paving the way or getting out of the way.
Yeah, you better get out of the way if number 5 or number 2 is behind you or in front of you. They will both run you over and run around you. It's funny. You average 10.4 yards per carry, and you're second on your team to Roschon Johnson. These backs are both great. They're coached by another great in Stan Drayton, who was at Ohio State. He coached Ezekiel Elliott at Ohio State. He coached Jordan Howard in the NFL with the Chicago Bears. Stan Drayton is a running back coach.
So a new quarterback for Rice. Not on the depth chart. This is Jake Constantine, and they'll let him throw it out of the reach of Jordan Myers. Constantine is a grad transfer, sat out last season. Former quarterback at Weber State, led that program to 2 Big Sky titles, appearance in the FCS playoffs. But this is a tough place to make that FBS debut here in Austin, Texas.
It is, but this is why you always have to be ready. Whether you're the second on the roster, third on the roster, your number may get called.
So Wiley Green down after he was sacked by a Gofu. McCaffrey has not looked right since the first quarter. So now it's Constantine. He was pressured there by Jacoby Jones and got it off just in time.
Yeah, love the pressure off the edge by Jacoby Jones. So Jacoby Jones is a dude. I'm just letting y'all know, like, this dude is a football player. He doesn't care about looking good, looking pretty. He just wants to play football. I talked to him yesterday as I was going through campus. I love seeing that. But then at quarterback with Constantine, you saw him be a little bit patient there, a little bit comfortable. I don't know if he saw the pressure off the edge.
So don't get too comfortable here on 3rd and 10. This is the down and distance Kwiatkowski wants to get into. Another answer for the pass rush. We got to get the opponents in 4th and 3rd and long, according to the guy. They say another flag here, and it will be a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
So Pete Kwiatkowski also brings up a great point on the pass rush. If we're getting gashed on first and second down, we're not going to have the opportunity to get them in pass situations on third.
Yeah, and Moro Ojimo said it to us yesterday in our production meeting. He said, hey, football is really simple. If we stop the run on first and second down, we earn the right to rush the passer. And so what you're seeing in this game is the Texas defense stopping the run and earning the right to get after the quarterback.
It was a one-man pass rush with Osai a season ago. He's now in the NFL. Quick pass to Myers. Myers being hounded by Brockemeyer, and he is brought down by Brockemeyer, Thompson. Both Jaron Thompson and Josh Thompson on that play.
And you've seen it. You've seen it. Great effort by Brockemeyer, pursuit to the ball, but 3 delay of game penalties. You wonder, is it the crowd noise? Is it now a third-string quarterback? 3 delay of games. With this type of offense, it just doesn't work.
It's not the intellectual brutality that Bloomgren stresses. This is a Rice team that has led the FBS in fewest penalty yards in back-to-back years, but they are out of sorts right now. Breaking in a quarterback they've never played before. They've got their top 2 guys out with injuries at this point in time, and they're trying to slow down the Texas run game, and that's not working.
It's not working at all. A public service alert. Number 5, Bijan Robinson is great. He is great. He has contact balance. He has great vision. He protects the ball. He's big, he's strong, he's powerful, and he's a physical back. He makes something out of nothing. And then another guy, we'll watch Bijan again, but another guy to look out for. Roschon Johnson, a Wildcat quarterback, a Wildcat running back, a wild card on your team. He gets in the end zone nonstop.
Thompson to Whittington, second time they've hooked up on back-to-back drives, and a good gain on first down. How has Thompson looked throwing the football?
He's looked calm. He's looked calm. He looked how he looked when we talked to him yesterday. He just kind of seems calm. And yes, he's been hit a couple times, but you got to understand, Sarkisian's trying to take the top off of this defense, and so it takes time, and he needs protection.
Has not had the time to hit those downfield shots. He'll try again. Oh, that's going to be a flag. No, it looked like the official was about to pull it out as Worthy goes down. There was contact with Fresh and Worthy, and I'm going to say it was incidental. You be the judge.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy is a speedster. Sean Fresh.
Well, they definitely trip, but there's a lot of grabbing from Fresh before the trip. Back to the line quickly, third down, Thompson. Will scramble, makes a move. Thompson the first down and slides as soon as he reached that marker.
One thing about Steve Sarkisian, they're going to go back to that play. That was the type of play they were trying to run on the pressure, the interception, and also some of the sacks that you've seen. Sark doesn't play around. He's going to go back to that play very soon.
Roschon with the carry. Changes direction, spins out of a tackle. Casey Thompson saying, follow me, I got you. Roschon Johnson cutting back to the 25-yard line.
Have you ever seen a quarterback and a lead blocker at the same time? You said, follow me, follow me, follow me. Casey Thompson, that's bravery right there. A lot of quarterbacks, they try to be a lead blocker. He said, I'll do whatever it takes. You're that good. Let me get out of your way.
27 yards. Roschon spinning out of a tackle.
Watch Casey, watch Casey. Oh, this way, look, come on, come on, come on.
Love it. He is bringing energy. I know you like his calm demeanor on the field, though, as we have a jump.
And he made a block, and Casey made a block on that.
He's got juice. There's like a certain vibe about him. There's a certain demeanor that it's not just the fire that he brings, but it really looks like the rest of the team gets fired up to be around him. He was talking to us when he found out Monday morning that he was going to be the starting quarterback.
Offside. Defense number 10. He was in the neutral zone, causing the offense to react. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I mean, so stiff arm, cut back, Once again, I'm going to cut back in. I'm going to stiff arm again. I'm going to follow my lead blocker, i.e. quarterback, and he's going to make a block. And I'm going to cut back again to try and go in the end zone. Roschon Johnson. Rojo, keep it up, my dude.
But all the guys that reached out to Thompson were the team leaders, excited that he was getting his shot. Jared Wiley, end zone. Thompson puts it there.
Ooh. So I got two things I got to point out on this. I got two things that you need to see at home. The first thing you need to see, Jared Wiley, yes, he's back. You need to see the shimmy from Casey Thompson. You need to see this little pump fake. Watch that little that gets the cornerback to sit. That leaves Jared Wiley wide open. And then secondly, you got to see how big of a target Jared Wiley is. You're not going to miss him. He's 6'7". Steve Sarkisian said, hey, that's the guy who's going to get in the game. Watch out for him. He's made his presence felt today.
Well, that was quick. 1:16, 5 plays, 62 yards. And we are seeing now maybe a transition with Wiley being back and being healthy. He could be the go-to tight end in the pass game over Cade Brewer.
He could, and he's special. And yes, Cade Brewer can make plays as well. So let's not be mistaken. Cade Brewer does have a very specific role in this offense and their success. But Jared Wiley, straight up, dude, I was intimidated. I'm like, this dude is big. He's fast. He's strong. Like, once again, it goes to the kind of guys that Kyle Flood said that he wanted. We talked about offensive line.
Yeah.
He said, I like big humans. Yeah. That's what he said. He said, I want big humans. Never will I sacrifice it for athleticism, but I just like big guys.
Everything is developing faster with Casey Thompson at quarterback. And I know it's Rice right now, but he's doing what he's supposed to do against this opponent. But the rhythm that the ball is getting out, there's been no misplays by holding on to the football too long, which we saw a little bit from Hudson Card. That's what got him in trouble.
We did, and we think about it. In this era of the transfer portal, there's no penalties for leaving. You can go wherever you want to go and play wherever you want to play. Casey Thompson, he said, I don't want to do that. He said, this is Texas. Where else can I go and play at a premier program? He's from Oklahoma. He said, I wanted to go to a premier program. I can't go anywhere else.
His dad, Charles, was a standout quarterback at OU. And it was their mutual decision going through the recruiting process to come to Texas. And then there were conversations about to stay or to go. But they decided to manifest the opportunity at the University of Texas.
Offside, kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down, Rice.
One thing that stood out to me in our conversation with Casey Thompson yesterday, he said, this is his 4th year, but he said, my dad and I, we decided to stay. My dad and I, we decided to come here. And so, like, I understand you get older, I'm in college, I do my thing, but there's a wisdom and there's a maturity with this guy that you don't always see with college kids.
Griffin with the carry, has a nice seam up the middle. Ball is out. Thompson falls on it.
Yo! So watch Jaron. I think it's Jaron right here.
There's Overshown.
Boom. He puts his shoulder.
Yep.
So Jaron Thompson, they call him Bug. This dude, when we did the spring game, they said, man, this guy's our leader. He puts his shoulder on the football. So you talk about it, there's something called a peanut punch. You see the ball, you punch it out. Overshown holds him up. Jaron Thompson doesn't just wait for the guy to get tackled, puts his shoulder on the football. And once again, look at that effort and the energy that Josh Thompson had to go and get that football. It's not about standing around. What I love seeing, even if it's a 37-0 game, you want to see effort, you want to see intent, you want to see energy. That's what the great DCs want to see, and that's what the great players always have.
Nothing going right for the Rice Owls in the return to Austin, Texas. Thompson to Cade Brewer, get the tight ends involved. Slips out of a tackle, leaps forward before Kenneth Orji brings him down. But going back to Casey Thompson, just think about that. He came to the University of Texas, and he was pinned to be Sam Ehlinger's backup, right? And he took on that role. handled it with class. No one was really sure before the Alamo Bowl whether Thompson would ever get a shot once Hudson Card came in the picture. He looked like one of those quarterbacks that unfortunately could just be lost in the transition between two highly recruited quarterbacks.
He did. That's what it looked like. But you talked to him, and he said, I never wavered. I never doubted. And it wasn't this thing of I always knew I was going to get the job, but he said, I just decided to take it a day at a time, and a week at a time, and a practice at a time. Like, he provided this perspective that a lot of people don't really always get and understand, but he said, I wasn't worried about it. So when my number was called, we asked, were you excited? How did you feel? He said, honestly, my family was probably more excited than me. He said 15 of my family members are coming to the game to come watch and support. He has his Native American heritage as well. He was calm.
His mom is half Native American, part of the Kiowa tribe in Oklahoma. As Bijan with physical running to the 30-yard line. When his mom found out, his native family came over and they prayed over Casey and for this opportunity that he's made happen. Thompson looking in zone, looking for more, the adjustment, and a fine play in coverage by Jordan Dunbar.
That was a heck of a play by Jordan Dunbar. Watch this right here. He's looking at the receiver's eyes, turns around. He turns around when the receiver puts his hands up, and then he plays through the ball. So DBs, a lot of times they get nervous when the ball's up in the air, but what you do is you got to look at the receiver's eyes, be patient, wait for his hands, and then play through his hands through the football.
Texas offense still looking to connect on one of those deep shots. That has been inconsistent, to say the least, to start the season. Here's Whittington in motion. Thompson steps up, throwing back to Brewer. He's going to get a block. Robinson with the block, but he runs into it. Brewer still up, but he's brought down inside the 15.
Safety valve.
Yeah, I'm saying the long shots aren't there. You got guys underneath.
Safety valve, and this is great effort. It's 27 seconds left in the second quarter. 2-minute drill. This is great practice. Situational football.
Thompson looking for Worthy. Worthy in zone. And Xavier Worthy puts 6 more on the board.
Back shoulder. Back shoulder. So this throw is almost impossible to guard. You see the corner turn his hips. Once again, Dunbar, you can't play through the football. You can't play through the quarterback and the receiver's eyes because it's a back shoulder pass placed perfectly by Casey Thompson. I get it. It's a blowout. It's 43-0 at this moment. But these situations prepare you for conference play.
Well, I came into this matchup saying if Texas wins, it really depends on the way they win. Just a run-of-the-mill dub, 14, 21 points. I don't know if it does a lot. But when you come out and you drub an opponent like you have through the first 30 minutes, then you have a chance to make this victory a little bit more than just beating a team like Rice. This can be the spark. This can be the change, especially when you're discovering a quarterback like Casey Thompson.
And the bigger picture is that coming off of a loss like you had at Arkansas, the question was always going to be, how would you respond? And this is the only response that's adequate when you want to build a winning football team and a winning culture. It's responding in this way. Every play matters. Every second matters. Everything matters.
And here is that throw. Again, it's out quickly. It's to Worthy. Sarkisian said we need to find ways to get the guys on the perimeter involved, and they have done that beautifully. That's one of the electric playmakers. Freshman from California, came on late in the recruiting picture, and that's Juice. You don't think this man is ready for the moment, cherishing every snap as the head guy for the Texas Longhorns? I mean, Casey Thompson living his life right now. I wonder what those notes say from Sarkisian. Good call. Hey, give Sarkisian credit as well. Decided Hudson Card to open. Gave Card the chance in Arkansas. lot of coaches, they pick a guy, and it's almost admitting defeat, admitting a mistake, and they don't want to make the move. After 2 games, he made the move, and it's working. Fresh on the return to the 20. Slips out of the tackle from David Binda and brought down by Bug Thompson. And by the way, that was Bert Auburn, the freshman kicker from Flower Mound, on the extra point to put the 44th point on the board for the Longhorns. They've nearly hung half 100 in the first half of this game. Nice moves by Cameron Montgomery. He's brought down after 8 yards. The junior from Stafford, Texas, takes us to the break. But all Texas 44-0 at the break. Casey Thompson. Sarkisian wanted to see him move the football, score points, take care of it. Well, he's engineered plenty of touchdown drives for this Texas team. 1 interception, but was hit on the throw. And of course, Bijan and Roschon, both of the backs over 100 yards, and Alex Chappell is now with Sark.
Well, Coach, just a dominating first half, but what specifically have you liked so far?
Well, I just liked our intent with everything we're doing. Obviously, we had to get back to running the football offensively, and we knew we had to stop the run defensively, and then creating turnovers is a big deal for us tonight. That's been big.
So you bring up, got to get back to running the football, over 200 rushing yards in the first half. What can you say about the job your running backs have done?
Well, we've done a nice job controlling the line of scrimmage, and then they're getting north and south. We're not going sideways. We got a new challenge now to play the second half, right? We can't relax. This is what I've been talking about. This can't be a sometime thing. This needs to be an all-the-time thing.
Coach Sarkisian, thank you.
All right, thank
Lowell?
Alex, thank you. And right now, everything going the way of the Longhorns. Highlight after highlight. Something tells me we're going to have to call some names we've never heard of in the second half, because this is a blowout. 44-0. Texas over Rice at the half. Alex Lowe coming up after the break.
Strapped in, captain, left hand on the dash.
Ojimo told us this would be a what are you made of game. And right now, Texas is showing they're made of some metal. 44-0, the lead over Rice at the break. Laura Galindo here with Sam Acho. Quarterback situation, the biggest storyline coming into the game, what would Casey Thompson do? Well, now dating back to the Alamo Bowl, 17 drives, 13 touchdowns in those 17 drives with Thompson at quarterback. How's he doing this?
Yeah, he's bringing his team together. He makes it not about him. When you watch Casey Thompson play, he makes the smart plays. It's not about him being great. It's making the right throws at the right time and putting the ball in your playmaker's hands. Even if it's just a handoff, he doesn't care how it happens. Yes, and the bravery it takes to stand in the pocket. We see the interception, but it takes bravery to stand in that pocket, give the little shimmy, and throw touchdown passes, dimes to your guys.
Rice won the toss, they deferred, so they will start the second half with the football. But who will play quarterback? We saw Jake Constantine, number 10 right there, the grad transfer from Weber State, get into the game. This is after Luke McCaffrey did not look right in the first quarter, and Willie Green, Wiley Green, excuse me, left the game in the second quarter. So now the Owls turn their attention to Constantine to see if he can get something going with this offense. Early in the game, they had a red zone possession after Thompson threw an interception, missed a field goal, and it has been all downhill from there. And there are the two helmets, number 5 for Wiley Green, number 12 for Luke McCaffrey. That's all you need to see to know they are not coming back. Broussard with a carry and a bruising one at that. pick it up, 8 yards. Here's Alex Chappell.
Well, Lowell and Sam, I had a chance to catch up with Coach Bloomgren about his quarterbacks, and like you all said, both Luke McCaffrey and Riley Green out of this one. He said he would not reveal what those injuries were until after the game, but he did tell me that both Jake Constantine and TJ McMahon will play in the second half, because when you're down 44-0, you want to see which quarterback will battle with your teammates.
And neither has played for Rice this season. There's a quick toss to Jake Bailey. Also have to keep in mind, Sam, the receiving situation. Bradley Rosner, August Pete, the clear top 2 receivers for Rice, not playing for the second straight game. So they're bare bones on offense right now.
They are. And Constantine, he's a grad transfer from Weber State. He transferred in January, but he's been injured. He just got cleared this week to practice.
Wow.
And so he came here thinking he would get an opportunity, get a chance to battle, and then all of a sudden Luke McCaffrey gets there. He gets kind of buried in the depth chart, but this is why you come to transfer, an opportunity to play.
And this was really the week that they gave the keys to this Rice offense to McCaffrey. Quick toss and a good one at that. First down, looking for his tight end and finding Robert French, the sophomore from Jacksonville.
Yeah, and this is composure. You love to see it. You see the zone back here from Texas. You got to keep your eyes on the quarterback. What a great feel right there from French.
13 yards on the connection. Under Bloomgren, the Owls have tried to expand the recruiting more nationally. Obviously takes a lot academically to get into Rice. And there's a quick toss to Montgomery. Boom, goes Josh Thompson.
I like the game plan you're seeing from Rice with the new quarterback. You're seeing quick, easy throws. You want him to get to a rhythm. You understand he just got back to practice. As I mentioned, he was just cleared this week. He had a lower body injury. And so quick throws, easy throws, get him comfortable, and then you can start airing it out.
Said it before, but these DBs have come up to lay the wood. They were tackling very well early on against Arkansas before that game fell apart. Broussard again. And Ojimo is there for the stop.
Ojimo, Keandre Coburn, those guys in the middle are really holding their own, allowing the DBs to come and make the tackles and linebackers to come and make the tackles. You know that Rice is going to run the ball. There's no doubts about it, no matter who is at quarterback. You know your number is going to be called defensively. And so now...
Well, speaking of quarterback, TJ McMahon does check in. He's got 2 running backs with him in the backfield. Will keep himself, and Ogofu is there for the 3rd down stop. Swallowed up by the grad transfer from Notre Dame.
Ogofu's having himself a day today, coming off the edge. He sees ball, get ball. That's the way he plays the game. See ball, get ball. You would have liked to see him go under that, but at the end of the day, you made the tackle, so you are A-OK.
Jacoby Jones also had the other side. Pressure from both ends of that defensive line. Another chance for Deshaun Jamison. He's been a busy man. Has yet to break one. Low snap. Oh no! Jamison fumbles, but fortunately out of bounds. Kind of like one of the breaks that we saw early on against Arkansas that went against Texas. We talk about that Arkansas matchup. Who knows what happens if on that fumbled punt, Keaton Crawford keeps his foot in bounds and Texas has it inside the 10. On this play, Rice thought they had a shot. I get him in the face mask?
It did. It looked like it hit him in the face mask and in the chest. And oftentimes, when you're a returner and you drop a ball like that, it's because your eyes are bad. It's because you start looking at the return. His eyes looked okay there.
Johnson and Robinson in the backfield with Thompson. They've done everything except hit the deep shot. Robinson the carry, already over 100 yards. Give him 5 more.
I want people at home to understand the decisiveness of that run. It was a 5-yard gain. Some may say just a 5-yard gain, but the way he just went downhill, it's different.
Yeah, we are watching something special here. Quick pass to Robinson, breaks one tackle, tries to spin out of a second, and he's down at the 35. How can you get your playmakers involved? If you look back at the history of Steve Sarkisian, it's simple. They find their best players and they get them the football more than the other guys.
And it's such a simple concept. Get my guys the ball, the guys who make plays. But it takes a little bit of bravery as a coach. Hey, I'm going to call plays for these guys. I'm going to change my offense even more so. Sark has changed his offense for his players. Back at Alabama, he had a certain offense with Tua Tagovailoa, a different offense with Mac Jones. Now he's got Bijan as a weapon. He's got Xavier Worthy. He's changing his offense.
Keilan Robinson in the backfield. Robinson with the carry. He's got a seam. The speed. You are not going to catch Keilan Robinson from Alabama with love.
It doesn't matter who is back there. Keyshawn, Roschon, Keilan. It don't matter. 65 yards later. But the reason it doesn't matter is because your offensive line is getting it. They call it body on body, body on body, body on body. Offensive line and tight ends and even receivers are having bodies cover up bodies. And when you got so many of those big old bodies covering up Rice's bodies, you're going to see me in the end zone. I'll see you there, Keilan.
Wiley also with a key block to set that one up as Auburn gets another extra point. Lost in that drive, though. The carry from Bijan Robinson taking him over 1,000 yards for his career. Keilan Robinson, that's the wild card in the backfield. He has some legs. The running back firm of Robinson, Johnson, and Robinson. Keilan Robinson, the latest to break off a big one. Sam Acho, I can't recall the last time we had 3 different Texas players with runs of more than 60 yards in the same game. Keilan for 65, Bijan for 62, Roschon for 72. That's going to win some football games, Sam Acho.
It is. And I've heard of two-headed monsters. Very few times have I heard of 3-headed monsters. There's some movies with some 3-headed monsters, yeah. But they're scary.
This is scary too. If you're Texas Tech, looking at the game film, getting ready for this. Bijan, Roschon, and Keilan. It's a pretty good day when you're Bijan Robinson and you feel bad that you're getting blown out when it comes to yards per carry and you're at 9.8.
It's a great day. It's a great day. A great day for Roschon and a great day for Keilan. He had 1 carry, but let's not forget, he had a punt block. Anytime you're on the field, you want to contribute. So you want to get more times on the field, contribute. Special teams, defense, offense, it don't matter.
Constantine at quarterback. First down carry to Broussard. Fumble ball is out. Who's going to pick this one up? The big fella, Shea Baker. The junior from Round Rock, Cedar Ridge High School, falls on it.
Shea Baker, once again, you see the ball come out right here. Boom, helmet on the football. I love it. And then you see effort here, but then Shea Baker, he's from Austin. I believe his mom actually just finished up her grad degree from executive MBA from the University of Texas. So
that's awesome.
Shout out to Shea and his family.
And Shea is one of the better offensive linemen you will find in Conference USA. First team all-conference preseason. And there is the jitterbug and Cameron Montgomery, 5'5", 160, trying to make plays. Going back to the Texas running backs, the thing I still love about it is Bijan is clearly the lead guy. He's got 13 carries. Roschon has 3. Keilan has 1. Even their success is not going to change the approach of making sure Bijan Robinson gets the most touches.
It won't. And once again, it goes back to Steve Sarkisian saying, playmakers, you must get the ball.
Montgomery again inside, weaving his way through. A nice pickup on second down before Jaylan Ford brings him to the turf.
But it's really a simple concept. It really is. Like some offensive coordinators say, I want my scheme and this and that. Steve Sarkisian says, no, well, who do I have? Who are the dudes that I have? Yeah. And how can I maximize their potential? If I have a guy like Bijan Robinson, I'm going to find a way to get you the ball. You're going to go out and run routes. Somebody hand it off to you. I don't care. Roschon Johnson, I'm going to find a way to give you the ball. Xavier Worthy, Jordan Whittington, I'm going to use my weapons. That's what I love from Sark.
3rd and 6. Constantine to Myers out of the backfield. That will not be enough. And it should force a punt here from Rice, unless they decide to roll the dice with really nothing to lose at this point. And on special teams unit is coming on board. And going back to Sarkisian, talked to us about when he was with the Falcons, it was really easy. I got Julio Jones. How do I get him the football? And then going back to Alabama, Devontae Smith was the best player in America, but he was on a loaded Alabama offense. They still found a way to get him the football far more than any of the other offensive weapons that are also in the NFL right now.
And Najee Harris as well. Najee Harris is another one. He said, I'm going to find a way to get Najee Harris the ball.
Worthy on the punt return, a little skip. Oh, lowers the shoulder as well. Hey, he may be slight of build, but the man has big confidence and isn't afraid to throw around that weight.
Football on Longhorn Network, presented by thezebra.com. Is brought to you by Coors Light, made to chill. 21 means 21. And Omni Barton Creek Resort and Spa, where you can stay a part of the game.
Bevo 15, every time we see him, the wingspan, if you will, is expanding. It's a fine-looking steer right there. A good-looking crowd we have tonight here in Austin, Texas. 51-0, Texas over Rice. And Hudson Card enters that quarterback for the Texas offense. The work by Casey Thompson is done. 14 touchdowns in his past 18 drives. As Card now comes in. Lost that starting job this week. What will these snaps mean for him, Sam?
Oh, these snaps are everything for him. And we talked about this with Coach Sarkisian yesterday as we see the run up the middle. He talked about last week at Arkansas being a learning experience and a learning opportunity for Hudson Card. He said he will bounce back from this. He said it's not a demotion by any means, but he's going to learn from this. He's a freshman. You come in and you play in a hostile environment against a crazy crowd, a sellout crowd. You learn from these opportunities.
Also seeing a lot of new bodies on the offensive line. Andre Carrick out at left tackle. Hayden Connor, Tope Amade in as well. As Texas has this one well in hand with 6.5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Card's gonna roll, throw quickly to Moore. Moore makes a move. Moore shifting close to the 50-yard line. Hudson Card got that football out quick. George Nightwall brings down more, but damage is done. 22 yards. So a line on the plate with Hudson Card, highest rated Texas quarterback recruit since 09 when Garrett Gilbert, who's all-world in high school, came to the 40 acres. The numbers on the season, he was brilliant. He made some next-level throws against Louisiana that made your jaw drop. But then against Arkansas, things came out a little slow. There were some jitters in the pocket as well.
Yeah, there were. Louisiana, he looked lights out. Arkansas was a little bit of a different environment. And so you got to learn from that. You have to learn from that.
Gabe Taylor is down, freshman from Miami. You see him there, number 26. And the younger brother of the late, great Sean Taylor, off the field. Was a high school basketball star. Actually did not start playing football until his senior year in high school. Bright upside for this Rice team.
He's a physical player. He's a physical player.
So Terrence Ellis will take his place for Brian Smith's Rice defense. A 1st and 10. Here the 50 for Hudson Card. Working with Keelan Robinson as his back. Juan Davis, bottom of the screen. True freshman tight end. Robinson running in that direction. A couple yards on 1st down. Inachukwu with the tackle for Rice.
What I'm interested to see during this second half is, now that you have your second string offensive lineman in there, will the running attack look the same? Will the movement that you saw in the first half, will you get that same kind of movement? Sark talks all the time about all gas, no brakes. This could be a time where people could turn the brakes on, and I want to see gas.
That's Avante Woodward in motion. Robinson shifty, then showing the explosiveness. See great acceleration from these running backs. With the new strength program here in Texas, a lot of focus, short area explosiveness, velocity. We see Robinson showing plenty of that.
Yes, and some things you can't coach are speed. Keelan Robinson is a speedster. You saw it on the last touchdown, how he outran everyone. You can't coach speed. You could try and get more explosive, but that speed, that's God-given.
Kai Money in the slot. Another carry to Robinson, right side. Running behind some new bodies, some young bodies on the offensive line. We see Logan Parr in there as well. That's Carrick, number 69. So some of these freshmen and young faces on Kyle Flood's offensive line getting a shot. There is Parr. You're looking at 76, Hayden Connor. And Andre Carrick, the redshirt freshman from South Lake Carroll. And there, number 3, focus on that man. That's Jatavion Sanders, the all-world recruit from Denton, Texas. Ryan High School in motion wearing number 3. Quick pass to Kai Money. Money to the 30 and is brought out. I know Michael Griffin is really enjoying these moments, watching Kai Money do his work. I think that's hands down Griff's favorite player on this Texas football team. It's money time for Griff.
Money time, money time.
Also in the backfield, we have young Jonathan Brooks from Hallettsville, Texas, a small program, but he put up monster numbers in his high school career. And the coaches feel like he has major upside, but getting his first moments out here at tailback at the University of Texas. And there is Brooks, his first carry is a Longhorn. And it's good enough for the first down.
These are the drives that you go back and you watch and you say, okay, are my guys giving full effort? Who can make plays? Who can still step on the gas? These are the plays that you look at and the film that you go back and watch, especially as a young player who wants to get in there and wants to show what he can do. Rice knows you're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
So you still got to move them when they know you're going to run the ball.
Well, it's intriguing if you're a Texas fan because you were getting a first look at the future. A lot of these key positions. Brooks running right into a tackle, still fighting. And not much going there on first down.
And then from the Rice perspective as well, once again, you say, okay, we're down by a half of a century.
And we have a player down for Rice, and that is Antonio Montero, I believe, number 1. A junior linebacker, one of the leaders for this Rice defense, obviously still battling with his game out of reach. All right, here's your Big 12 slate brought to you by Dr. Pepper. OU Nebraska thrilling. Did you see that DJ Graham interception?
That might have been the pick of the century.
That's like Charles Woodson from Michigan back in the day. West Virginia, Virginia Tech was awesome. Mountaineers with a goal line stand late. Baylor all over Kansas. K-State still looking good. OU and Boise State tied. We have anything but a tie game here. 51-0. Card rolling out. Looking. And that one is almost picked off as George Nyakwal jumped that route and nearly had himself an INT.
Yeah, Nyakwal's an athletic, rangy safety. That was a dangerous throw by Hudson Card.
He was looking for Moochie Dixon. Brings up a 3rd and 10. Brooks in the backfield with Hudson Card. To Brooks. Brooks staying upright to the 20. And Brooks is going to make this close. It's looked like he's got enough for the first down.
Watch the push up front. Watch the, talk about resetting the line of scrimmage. All the offensive linemen are 5 yards the other way. That's what you want to see O-line wise.
It's a 4th down. Brooks give Card the push. And it looks like even though Brooks didn't pick up the 4th down, first down on the previous carry, he was able to get it there with a push on Hudson Card.
That previous play, Andre Carrick was handling his defender and the entire offensive line. We talked about it. This is what you want to see. Rice up front. We're down big. You have to continue to fight. But Texas, shine.
Longhorns 2 for 2 on 4th down. Rice had made 8 straight stops on 4th down coming into this game. Davis motions to the bottom of the screen. Brooks, a little wiggle, but the Rice is there. Rice defense is there to rally with McCord and Nyquil on the tackle. Important, though, to know with Hudson Card, still a play away from having to become the man at quarterback again for Texas. And behind him, it's a true freshman in Charles Wright. These are very key snaps in the development of Hudson Card. Woodard, there's a man in motion. Brooks going left side. Brooks, first touchdown as a Texas Longhorn. From a tiny town, playing small-time Texas high school football to the big time 17 yards later.
17-yard touchdown. Once again, I go back to that block by Juan Davis, and then you go to getting north and south. This is a stretch play. It's going outside, but as soon as you see that hole, boom, you cut. You end up in the end zone. Shout out to Juan Davis, tight end, making that block. Andre Carrick pulling around.
A 6-minute, 6-second drive. With Card at quarterback, Brooks at running back. And this is what Sarkisian takes a lot of pride in. When you follow the script and it goes the way you want it to, you start running the football a lot in the second half, and they want these longer drives. We saw them twice in the first half, score on drives, sub 60 seconds. And now we see them with a 6-minute touchdown drive.
And it's interesting to see, even in the halftime interview and even now, Sark's expression hasn't changed. He talked about yesterday when we were in our meeting with him, he said, you got to embrace becoming the villain. You have to embrace becoming the villain. When you go into an environment like last week in Arkansas, be the villain, you're getting booed. Go into an environment like here at home against Rice, be the villain, embrace that mentality, and that's what we're seeing Texas do tonight.
He also mentioned, if you're gonna get upset during a game for blowing coverages, making mistakes with blocking assignments in the middle of a game, why aren't you upset when you do that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in practice? And it's kind of the same thing here. You have to have that same level, right? That same standard of excellence, even when it's a blowout. You've got to take pride in all the small details.
You have to do everything with intent.
Here's Fresh to the 20 and brought out close to 25. This season, All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund for every field goal and extra point made by Texas. Thank you to All-State. Not seen much from Cameron Dicker. I've seen Bert Auburn, freshman kicker, get in for the extra points. You see the difference with the time of possession there. It's actually an edge to Rice. They're not moving anywhere. 22 minutes with the ball, 192 yards. The pitch to Myers. And met quickly by Byron Murphy. I want to talk about another true freshman to get excited about. This young man from DeSoto, Texas, flashed in the second half against Louisiana, taking on double teams, moving dudes out of the way, high upside with Murphy.
Yeah, high upside. You like the way he plays. You love the way, I like the way he uses his hands. He's kind of got that Roy Miller build from back in the day, but I like the way he uses his hands. to shed blocks and make plays.
2nd and 6 for the Owls. Constantine still in at quarterback again. Wiley Green and Luke McCaffrey both knocked out of this game in the first half. Collapsing pocket. It looked like Murphy had a hand in, and Murphy comes up with the sack. Should see more of those in his Texas career as Byron Murphy into the box score for the first time. I take it down the quarterback.
Yes, once again, everybody was back there. It's one of those things you say, meet at the quarterback. That's what they did.
And through 3 quarters, it's Texas running roughshod over Rice. All the running backs getting into the end zone. Crazy. Bijan, Roshan, Keelan, and Jonathan Brooks, all with touchdowns. Your game summary. Texas going into the break with the largest lead they've had at half since 05. Also had 2 100-yard rushers in the first half. Bijan Robinson, Roshan Johnson. First time that's happened since 06. Casey Thompson, it was clean, 15 of 18, had 1 interception, did not turn into points. He was hit on a deep throw to Xavier Worthen. 3rd down, swing pass to Montgomery. And that will not be enough to move the chains for a Rice team that's now on their number 3 quarterback, a guy that was not even on the depth chart coming into the game, Jake Constantine. They've lost their top 2, Wiley Green and Luke McCaffrey, who was supposed to take control of this offense. And they've not been able to get anything going. Talked about that Casey Thompson interception. Rice had a chance, had a really nice drive into the red zone. Texas held them. Rice tried to kick a field goal, it was no good. And really haven't threatened since then. Here's Worthy again, making a nice move quickly and losing his footing as the turf makes the tackle. You know, it seems like Texas also has a better grasp of the new surface here inside DKR. You know, Josh Thompson, a number of times in the opener against Louisiana, really had a tough time with the footing.
Yeah, and that one right there with Xavier Worthy, the turf monster got him on that one. But yeah, you see, like, once again, you're getting back to playing at home, understanding the surfaces, but also understanding, hey, the game is still being played. I want to go make plays. I love what I saw from Xavier Worthy. Get the ball, make a juke, make a play.
Guard back at quarterback, Jonathan Brooks, who took Texas into the end zone, back in the backfield. As we know, the day is done for at least Bijan Robinson and Roshan Johnson. We'll see if Keelan Robinson makes an appearance. Pitch to Brooks, and hit at the line of scrimmage. Let's go down and check in with Alex Chapman.
Well, Lowell and Sam, even though Casey Thompson's night has ended, he's still making a big impact for his teammates. I've seen him down here just full of energy, cheering people on, high-fiving guys, and he's even been talking with Jared Wiley just about what he's been seeing. He told us yesterday that his prep really didn't change coming into this one, but the vibe was different around the team because he was recognized as the guy, and it was just a humbling. He was honored by that feeling, and that he knew his teammates saw his hard work really pay off.
Learned a lot backing up Sam Ehlinger for 3 years as Brooks showing the shakes, showing the moves, looking for a sideline. There's a stiff arm there, and he gets to the 50-yard line. Yeah, I see him run. Maybe it's the jersey number. See a little Joe Bergeron in the way 2-4 moves.
My bad, Jonathan Brooks. Watch this cut. My bad. 24 on 24. That's a crime right there. You should put him in prison. He made 24 for Rice look bad.
25 yards for Jonathan Brooks, the freshman getting his first time to shine inside DKR. But talking back about Casey Thompson, learned a lot from Ehlinger. Said he would not make contact with Ehlinger leading up to this game as Brooks is still dancing. He's fighting. He doesn't run, he fights when he runs.
Lo, you remember when you used to play video games and you used to like press every button, circle button to spin, press L1 to stiff arm. Like watch Jonathan Brooks right here. Hit the juke, the spin, go backwards, hit another spin and a stiff arm. He press both buttons at the same time. The stiff arm and the spin. I've never seen that before.
Make the most of his opportunities. But with Casey Thompson, he will talk to Sam Ehlinger, but wants to talk to him after the game to get Ehlinger's feedback from what he saw from Casey Thompson's performance. Brooks again, dance with who brung ya, as Daryl K. Royal would say, and that's a first down.
Yeah, we talked to KC earlier, and he was saying that he talked with Sam back in the spring, but he said he hadn't texted Sam Ehlinger yet. He said he wants to reach out to him after the game to get some feedback. He watched and learned from Sam Ehlinger. He talked about the composure that Sam Ehlinger had. In practice, he was so intense and so dialed in and so excited. Then in the game, he seemed calm, cool, and collected. And so that's one thing that Casey Thompson took from Sam Ehlinger. But now you see Hudson Card learning and getting reps. There's such a great importance in getting reps. I don't care when you get the reps, mental reps in practice or even now in a game, they matter.
Gabriel Watson now checks in, gets the carry. Former D2 running back transferred to Austin. And his first carry, he's got a first down. So establish the run. That was pretty high up on the priority list for Texas, and they're doing exactly that.
They are, and there's a reason why you see all the different running backs making plays. Number one, offensive line. Kyle Flood, offensive line coach. He was at Alabama. He knows how to coach great offensive linemen. Just go ask anyone who's played in the NFL for him. And then Stan Drayton, the running backs coach. I've been with him when I was with Chicago with the Bears. Stan Drayton does not mess around. He wants every single one of his players to play to the best of their potential. He doesn't just look at the starter or the star. He goes down every single guy. That's a guy I want to play for.
Another carry. Watson to the 30. This is a Rice defense. That ball pops out, but after Watson was down, Naheem Smith, Miles McCord, these are starters playing right now in a blowout, and they're still giving the effort.
They are, and that picture you just saw, that was of Stan Drayton right there. That's the running backs coach who doesn't mess around. Stan Drayton, he was in Ohio State. He coached Ezekiel Elliott. We saw when Ezekiel Elliott went 5th overall. Then he went to the NFL. He coached the running back and Jordan Howard to a phenomenal first 2 years. And now he came to Texas. He's been in Texas for some time. Every single back he coaches excels. It's not an accident why every single back is doing well tonight.
Watson slips a tackle, lowers the shoulder, big contact inside the 20, but it looks about half a yard short of the first down. And right now, you clearly see mentality for Texas, let's get out of here, right? Got everybody out, healthy. The game's in hand. How quick can we hit the showers?
They are, and even once again, showers, but with intensity. It's with intensity. Going back to Drayton again, his daughters are phenomenal gymnasts. He goes there, they're just great gymnasts, and he lets them travel and go all around the world. Whether it's he's coaching his daughters or coaching, in a lot of ways, his sons on this football field, those are the coaches that you want to say, man, I want to play for you. Sark's another guy like that. Kyle Flood, the entire coaching staff is a coaching staff that you really believe in.
414 rushing yards for the Longhorns.
Texas.
Last time they did that, 2017. So the offense firing on all cylinders. 58-0, dudes in the burnt orange. Now for the moment of chill, presented by Coors Light. Sam, some would say Bijan had no chill. You took what he was doing to this right.
You took the words right out of my mouth. This is not the moment of chill. This is the moment of no chill. Every time I touch the ball, I will score. And then if I don't do it, I'm going to give it to my homeboy. And every time my homeboy touches the ball, he's going to score. My bad, I got to change the graphic. This is the moment of no chill for Texas.
13 carries, 127 yards, 3 touchdowns. And it's plug and play. Every running back that has had their shot has done something. And Watson is going to try to become the 5th Texas running back to get into the end zone tonight. Bijan's been there 3 times. Roschon once, Keelan Robinson once, Jonathan Brooks once. Just pouring it on here and letting the clock tick, tick, tick away as they can get some momentum going into Texas Tech to open up conference play. But you said a little bit earlier when I mentioned just trying to get to the showers, they got to do it the right way, because you will see Sark get animated if they lose the intensity in these final 8-15.
Because for Sark, all gas, no brakes isn't just a mantra. For him, it's a way of life. And this is the time where you live out that way of life. When a chance, you could pump the brakes if you wanted to. But whether you're down by a lot or up by a lot, you have to practice with intent, with a mentality of every play I'm getting better. That's what he talked about with us yesterday. He said, it's not just about what I do on Saturdays. I want to have the same intensity. I want my guys to have the same intensity on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays if they make a mistake, have that same kind of passion and energy. That's the difference between good and great.
Hey, compared it to Alabama, said they've got a 15-year head start on what we're doing. That has been the mentality with Nick Saban since day number one, and it's taken time to build. Now the problem is, in Austin, you do not have time. Maybe the first guy after Mac had time, but not the third guy. You do not have the luxury of time with this program anymore. Not with that south end zone and all the money that went into that. Maybe a new practice facility coming and a big paycheck as well. You don't got time.
But let's not forget what Sark said also. We talked about, man, he said this is a marathon. This is a marathon. But then he also said, who said you can't sprint a marathon? I understand it's a marathon, but I'm trying to win now. I'm not trying to lose. He understands it's a marathon, but he's trying to sprint that thing.
Third down, Watson. He's going to be short.
He also talked about yesterday, he said, people forget that Nick Saban's first year, he was 6-6. And so it wasn't like Nick Saban just came and just brought this program and all of a sudden Alabama's on top. He said it takes time, but he never wants to sit and wait.
But it happened quick. When you get Julio Jones and Mark Ingram right off the bat, and those guys lead you to a national championship, it happens quick. So who can he get quickly on the recruiting trail to be able to get that level of talent? Because, hey, we can't erase Arkansas. That happened, and that is still a concern. The way they lost that game, it was ugly. As Watson gets the carry, and he will be stopped short, so this will be a turnover on downs. Ball's going back to the Rice Owls. We'll pick up this conversation, though, on what exactly does this performance and win mean for the Longhorns going forward.
Texas football on Longhorn Network is presented by thezebra.com. Compare and save at thezebra.com. And in part by Yeti, built for the wild.
So turnover on downs, pins Rice. Well, this is after all those good things happened for the Longhorns. Casey Thompson looking like the QB1. Running backs running wild, and the defense to this point pitching a shutout. You do have Rice backed up at their own 5-yard line. So this one is in the bags, and we know Texas is going to win this game. It does not erase what happened last week in Fayetteville. What does it mean, however, for this team moving forward?
Well, it means that you know how to bounce back. That's really what it means. So it's interesting to have a player perspective versus someone on the outside of the locker room. Because the players, you played that game, and then a lot of people call it the 24-hour rule. After 24 hours, you watch the film, you do all you need to do, then you put it away. You don't let Arkansas beat you twice. From the outside, you say, okay, that was bad. Like, that was really bad.
It was.
So with the loss. Now with the win, you might see this win and say, wow, look at all Bijan and Roschon and Keelan, and it was great, and Casey. But same thing, 24-hour rule. You go back, you watch the film, you celebrate, and then you go to the next game. And the next game, as we know, it's going to be, we're going to conference play now. That's what comes next. Texas Tech, TCU, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Baylor, Iowa State. This was the precursor to conference play. And so you take the good, you take the bad, you get the improvements, and you prepare for Texas Tech.
I'll say this, though, the Big 12 is looking down this season. Even Oklahoma against a not so good Nebraska team at home, that game was way too close for comfort. Iowa State was supposed to be the co-favorites with OU this season as Myers gets loose for the first down. But that loss against Iowa raises some big questions, although they typically struggle early on in the season. Point is, Sarkisian did say that we lost at the right time. You never want to admit defeat, but he does have a point in that what they were realistically capable of chasing this season, the Big 12 title at the most, is still alive. No one thought that this was a group that would make a run for the college football playoff in year number 1. But there was at least some belief that they could be a dark horse behind OU and Iowa State, and that still is looking in play.
It is, and OU isn't looking as strong as OU has looked in the past. We saw week 1 against Tulane, Spencer Rattler got outplayed at quarterback, and then you see Iowa State get beat by Iowa. And so you see this landscape happening, and then even today, OU and Nebraska, it's a one-score game. It's a one-touchdown game. And so there's so much football to be played. There's so much college football to be played. You don't know who's going to win on any given Saturday. And so this win, it's good. You celebrate it. But take 24 hours, and you go to the next week.
T.J. McMahon now in at quarterback for the Rice Owls. Again, they've lost Luke McCaffrey, the starting quarterback, and the backup Wiley Green, who started the season opener. They were lost in the first half and have not returned. We also saw the grad transfer Jake Constantine, and there are the numbers overall as Bando pass attempts in this game. That's a big blow because right now the Rice team is thin offensively with Bradley Rosner, August Pete out, and this is a group that had some high hopes. They only got to play in 5 games last season because of COVID. Had a huge top 25 upset against Marshall after having like 3 straight games wiped out because of COVID. Returned a lot of guys, and again for them, this doesn't detract at all from what they could do in the Conference USA schedule if they can get those guys healthy.
100%, and it goes back to week 1, what they did against Arkansas. They were up. This Rice team was up 17-7 in the third quarter.
They played Arkansas better than Texas did.
They did. And then you come back and you don't play well against Houston. In this game for Rice, moving forward, you say, okay, what are we going to do with this kind of loss? How do we respond with this game?
Constantine over the middle to Cedric Patterson. Across the 50. Now, the game within the game, right? You know that Pete Kwiatkowski wants to keep that 0 on the board. That's going to be big. This is the upcoming schedule, though, for Rice. You got Texas Southern, Southern Miss, UTSA, UAB, all coming up on the schedule for the Rice Owls. 0-2, about to drop to 0-3. That is the true freshman from Dallas Kimball High School, Ismail Ibrahim, was hurt on the previous play. He was taken to the medical tent to get checked out. There he is, number 19. You can see he gets caught up in that tackle. And right there on his right leg, awkwardly bent, so hoping for the best for Ibrahim. Meanwhile, Rice trying to get on the board. Constantine will try to take a shot, trying to get it done here to Patterson, and it is broken up by Chris Adamora. Like I was saying, game within the game, this is something to play for. Playing for the shutout here, Sam.
Yeah, you always want to keep that goose egg up there as a defense. These are the things that matter for you. Somewhat of a pride thing, but also a deal of we shut them out all game. Let's not stop now.
Second and 10. Constantine, quick pass. And Kobe Campbell. Decent game. We'll set up a third down. 620 total yards from the Texas offense. Steve Sarkisian wanted his starting quarterback, Casey Thompson, move the offense, score points, take care of the football. He did all of that. Was the one interception. He was hit on the play. Ball got out so much quicker. And Xavier Worthy was one of the perimeter guys that they got involved. 7 catches for 88 yards. A couple of those were little flips forward, so more like sweeps. As Myers takes it right side, he's got the first down, trying to get Rice on the end zone, and he's into the red zone before Tyler Owens takes him out.
Jordan Myers is a special player for Rice. What I'd love to see is him get the ball more. I want to see him get the ball more. When the ball's in his hands, he makes people miss. He gets up the field. He's just a playmaker. I want to see the ball in his hands even more often for Rice moving forward as they continue in Conference USA play.
11 trips into the red zone against the Texas defense. They've allowed 3 touchdowns in 3 games. One of the best red zone defenses on paper so far in college football. Constantine steps up, he's got a man. And that is Kobe Campbell, freshman from Missouri City Hightower High School. Well, we know this. Rice isn't kicking a field goal down 58-0. They're trying to do everything they can to get this one into the end zone. 2nd and 8. To Myers and quickly brought down by DJ Harris on a 2nd and 1, excuse me. And that will be first down yardage. So a 1st and goal now for the Rice Owls. More of these young pups. This Texas Longhorn recruiting class, once again ranked in the top 25. Sarkisian didn't have much time to add to it. The first part of the signing period was done with Tom Herman and was able to add on to it. Guys like Jatavion Sanders already signed when Sarkisian took over. On the left, that's Marcus Tuiasosopo, legendary quarterback from UW, coordinator for this Rice offense. Constantine rolling, big hit, complete to Jaeger Bull. 15 seconds left. Texas defense trying to bow up for the shutout.
Mentally, you got to think in your mind as a defender, game on the line. Like that's what you have to prep for, game on the line. That's what's got to be in your mind at points like this.
Longhorns have not shut out an opponent since 2017. 15 seconds away from doing that. The game is already decided. Rice looking for some pride. Constantine at quarterback. Moving around, he's gonna be hit from behind and brought down by DJ Harris.
Go DJ, that my DJ. Hey, y'all should have seen me up in this booth. I was jumping for joy when I saw that rush by DJ Harris. That is called a walk-off home run. Walk-off, DJ Harris and this defense, Bijan Robinson and this offense. What a game.
58-0. It does not answer every question, but it answers the main one. Who is the quarterback going forward? No doubt about it, it is Casey Thompson.
It is, it's Casey Thompson. Another question that was answered is in Steve Sarkisian's first big loss here at Texas. How do you respond? And his team responded with flying colors.
Bijan Robinson, 13 carries, 127 yards, 3 touchdowns. Roschon Johnson, 3 carries for 112 and a touchdown. Keelan Robinson, a touchdown. Jonathan Brooks, a touchdown. Identify the playmakers, give them the football. Sark gets the mojo back. Texas pounds Rice, 58-0. Texas players wanted momentum in the conference play. They got some, and they got juice behind the new QB1, Casey Thompson. Texas Tech is next after the break. Texas Game Day final.